Albert and I had been in a relationship for many, many years. We knew that we loved each other very much and we had a really great life together. But we also kind of hit a plateau in our relationship. To be honest, weren't really sure if our goals continued to align. We had had numerous conversations, just the two of us, to figure things out. It kind of felt like we were going and hitting a few different roadblocks, or issues kept reoccurring. So we really wanted someone to help guide us through that process of figuring out who we were, who we wanted to be in this relationship, and what our goals were.
This might hold up. To be honest, I didn't really want to coach. Our relationship was stagnant. There was a lot less love in the relationship. It just felt off. Even though we had been together for so long and we knew we loved each other, we just got into fights more often and there was just less passion in our relationship. I was reluctant at first, but I do care about our relationship and I was open and willing to try it. What had me actually do the coaching with Coach Steve, I remember calling up Coach Steve and talking to him. I felt really comfortable with him. When I talked to him, it's like, hey, it's someone I can trust. He's personable. There was just a really good vibe. So I'm like, okay, I'm not afraid to open up to you, to Coach Steve, and this is something that I'd be willing to try.
I had that initial call with Steve. He made it very clear that he was going to put me through my paces. And that made me nervous at first. But at the same time, I really did want someone who was not going to let me get off easy. I wanted someone that was really going to guide me through the process that I wanted to put myself through and not give up when I was ready to give up.
He would always create a very safe environment for us to speak and made sure that each one of us got to voice whatever was that we had to say. Being able to speak in that kind of environment, it actually opened up the communication between us. And we also did exercises together. We had assignments with Coach Steve. So there was always a structure. And for me, that was super helpful, having like a structure to the calls.
I really liked the safe space that Steve provided for both of us to actually say whatever it was that we needed to say. To be honest, there were a few times on the calls where in my head, I wanted Steve to just simply side with me and say, oh, what I'm doing is reasonable and so on and so forth. But the structure that he provided allowed Albert to say whatever it was that was there for him. And I got to listen to that from a place that was outside of my own typical judgment, and to take the words that he was putting out there at the value that he was giving them. Sometimes when we're in conversations with our partners, it seems like we're listening to the same thing over and over and over. We hear it with the perception that we have. But with Steve coaching us, I got to hear what Albert had to say in a whole new light. And I also got to be careful and responsible with what I was saying, how I was saying it, and to also be really responsive to Albert in a way that I don't know I would have been if it was just the two of us.
I had never done any coaching. I had never done any counseling. I hadn't done any therapy, anything like that. So I was really nervous because I didn't know what to expect, like, at all. I was actually really surprised. It was nowhere near as weird or scary as I thought it was going to be. It actually felt very natural. And I think that's really what like made the difference for me.
With Steve, the first conversation we had, Steve already told me that, okay, sometimes the coaching sessions are going to get hard. Part of it is, do you want to be coachable? Please be coachable. This is the goal that you yourself are setting for your relationship. So if that's the goal that you want, then that's basically the motivation for you to continue pushing even when it does become hard. I kept going when I was working with Steve.
We got coaching with Steve. It was 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
We got the benefits during the coaching, and a lot of that was actually being able to communicate with each other during that time period, like our communication just got better and we got to be closer. We got to be more intimate with one another. We got married about a year after we started coaching. 6 months after that, we had a baby. I don't think there could be anything more awesome than that.
I think the biggest difference that it made for us is that we really got to know for ourselves how important our relationship is and what kind of work we are willing to put into it. It's a commitment that we choose to make every day. And even though we still fight, even though are not perfect in our communication, a lot of my experience with Coach Steve has actually laid a really good groundwork for remembering what kind of life I want to have for myself, as well as what kind of life I want to have with my partner. I mean, this is the beauty of being in a relationship. It's you, me, us together.
It just gave our relationship so much more resilience. During the coaching, there were definitely some really tough moments. We examined our relationship very closely, and there were even times when you have to even look at, like, hey, what would it be like for us to even end our relationship? Would that be okay with us? After going through all that, we figured out what we really wanted, and it was to be with each other. And
I feel really confident in being able to go out there and to have love in my life, to have connection in my life. It's not just about the relationship that you're currently in, it's about you having the skills to really excel in just about any relationship you want in your life.